This is a 2016 Honda Africa Twin manual version in the black. This is just going to be a video of some of the things I've done to it since I purchased it last November. And so we'll start. I put on a Givy or GV, however you want to say it, crash bar system, and 5 coats of red paint, 5 coats of clear coat over the winter. Cleaned that up. I also put on the GV heavy duty skid plate, mostly because it does work well with the crash bars. There's no, everything's no interference. Everything fits good. I added in the Cyclops driving light and fog light combination package. Claimed 880 foot beam. I don't know, I don't generally drive at night, but have them just in case. The recent add-on was the Kriega. This is an OS6 bag, and I bought one for each side, and that's where I mount all my tools. This is just a backside view of the OS6. Now back to the crash bars. One of the reasons I picked the Givy brand is this tie bar that ties the upper crash bar to the lower crash bar. It just, if you go over, the whole thing becomes one rigid frame. Alright, so just pan down, nothing too special about that. I've got the Trax and SW Motec's bag system on there. These I took off my 650 GS. It was a straight swap, just bought the rack kit from Twisted Throttle and mounted it up top. I added the Kriega OS12 pannier bag. It works really good. Kriega was fantastic. I'm in British Columbia, Canada. I ordered them on a Tuesday about 3 p.m. I had them in my hand before noon on Thursday, and they're coming from the UK, so that was pretty good. Again, the top box, something I think everybody needs to carry is a fire extinguisher. We're just a little more aware of it out here in British Columbia with the extreme fire season that we have. Now, you can see the yellow cap. It's an ABS. It was originally a tool tube. Now I just have 10 pulls in it. It's just a cap. Again, on this side you can see the OS12 bag and the SW Motec Trax bag. Also that little white line there is a add more lighting system. I believe that possibly came from Twisted Throttle, not 100% sure, but works pretty good. Again, it was just took it off the other bike. For tires, I normally run a Heidenau K60 Scout, which I've got up to 25,000 kilometers. This time I thought I'd try something a little different, so I went to the Mitas E07. I've got about 8,000 kilometers on this set, and we're just getting down to the center. So I think these are going to wear very similar to the K60 Scout. I have no trouble. They're very similar to the K60 Scout on wet roads. You just slow down, avoid the tar snakes, and avoid the painted lines. I have no trouble with them. Dry roads handle really good. Goes as fast as I want to, and off-road slightly better. Originally, I think now that the center is wearing down, they'll be very similar to the K60 Scout that has that wear bar down the middle. I don't think the noise is any different. It's a 50-50 tire, so you get what you can't expect it to be whisper quiet. Added the SW Motec dry bag 350. I carry my tenting gear and my sleeping bag in that. Just an idea what I carry in the bag. Panniers are carrying food, cooking equipment, things like that. I have all my rain gear in one one OS12 bag. The other bag I have a chair and a bike cover. Just light items that not really too bad if somebody rips them off. And then the front tool bags, that's all the tools. So I added a Hepco Becker handguard crash bar setup. Definitely not the cheapest way to go, but the nice thing with them is they are a direct install over the OEM plastic handguards, and beefs it up and quite a bit. And they tie back to the on the center. They tie right back. You can see the mount there, right to the 4 bolts that hold the handlebar in place. I went with a Oxford heated grip system. It works really good. Don't really need it when it's 36 degrees outside, but spring and fall it's been fantastic. And just a Zumo 665 navigation system. You can see in here I added in a little bar to mount some auxiliary controls on. The one on the right is a fan override switch. So I'm in town on a warm day, I can just turn the fan on whenever I want. The button on the left is a master control switch for all my auxiliaries. I run them through the relay system on the bike. When I turn it off, it turns the relay off and shuts off any of my auxiliary controls, so there's no issues worrying about draining a battery down. I went in, you can see here I added a 12 volt accessory outlet. I did not go with the Honda unit. It was almost 250 bucks by the time you bought all the parts for it. I figured that was a little unrealistic considering I got this on Amazon for about 12 bucks and just wired in it, and there's a port underneath the fairing. You can go directly in there and wire it right off, right just like OEM parts. 2 little buttons I also bought and installed on this side, one for the left driving light and one for the right fog light, just to push on LED. Wired them in at the same time, and they're run through that master switch for all the controls. One thing I don't have, and I'm not sure where I've got it because I took it off because I didn't need it, but I find the OEM windscreen works really good for me when the bike seat is in a low position. I'm 5'10", not a big guy, but I do have an Air Max little windscreen adapter that if my wife's not riding her little GS behind me there and she does go 2 up, it just makes sure the wind goes up over her head and doesn't cause any buffeting. I have about just under 8,000 kilometers on this bike. I've got about 7,000 on the Mitas tires. I took the OEM tires off over the winter. I didn't, they're in the shed. I'm pretty much a 90-10, nothing special there, so I think I'll probably just leave them and maybe sell them if I ever sell the bike, or try and sell them on the internet, get rid of them. I don't think I'll ever use them. General impressions with the bike. For me, I'm 5'10", 170 pounds. I have no problems with this bike. This bike is excellent when it's in a low position. I'm flat-footed, goes anywhere I want to go. I'm not a real aggressive rider, so I'm not catching airtime or anything like that. But as far as cruising down the highway, the seat is great. First bike I've had that I haven't been required to make modifications to the seat, so that's a fairly significant savings. Goes fast enough for me. I don't have any issues with that. I don't need more than the 95 horsepower. Traction control works great. Dial it off as soon as you get off road. It does. As soon as the back tire spins, it bogs pretty good, so you'll want to turn that off. ABS on the rear, it's fine. I don't have any issues with it. So yeah, general impressions of the bike's fantastic bike. I would recommend it to everyone. This is the manual version. I have no experience with the DCT. I still want to shift my bikes for a little while yet, but that's just my opinion. All right. Any questions? You can try to email me if I figure that part of this out. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Just a couple items with the panniers off. You can see crisscrossed all over the back seat there. That's rock straps. Highly recommend them. They work great. The elasticized section just keeps everything tied on nice and snug. There's that tool tube tent pole rack. It's just a piece of 3-inch ABS with an adapter down to 2-inch, just so that it fits through right in here at the front of the rack. It's a little tighter. A couple of gear clamps holding it on. The SW Motec rack system that fits with the Trax boxes. I did also buy the SW Motec center stand. Works good. It'd be nice if it pushed over a little further forward. It's a little, you know, I don't I'll typically put a tie on it from the front tire to the front of the rack just to hold it while I'm sitting in the garage. It's just it comes off easily, but you know, center stand works good. You know, other than that, it's pretty standard stuff. Haven't really changed much other than I've already showed. Okay, I'm just going to add a few items here. Remember I was talking earlier about the center stand? So here's typically what I'll do when I have the bike sitting in the garage. I carry this little tie down, I just hook it through the front tire and hook each end on the center stand. Just make sure if somebody bumps the bike or something, it doesn't come off. Now on the GS's, we were in Waterton Parks in southern Alberta one time and the wind was kicking up. And we actually used the same setup when we left our bikes parked overnight while we were in our tent, just so that the bikes didn't get blown off the center stand. It was pretty substantially windy. And you can use the strap for other things as well, so just a little tidbit there. A couple of extra things. Everybody has their favorites. This is mine. A couple of weird things. I'm using fluid film for a chain lube. I've got 8,000 kilometers on the chain on the bike. I haven't tensioned it up once yet. This stuff doesn't throw off, hangs on good with the water, has sheep lanolin in it. You know, I really like it. It makes a really good lube, and same price as anything else. Now the Lemon Pledge, that's what I spray on my plastic windscreens. Use that and a nice microfiber cloth, and it'll pretty much take out any scratches and keep an old windscreen looking brand new. So a couple of things. Acetone in the background. Everybody has their idea of fuel injector cleaners. I'll put about 10 mils in a full tank every 4 or 5 tanks. Just keeps the fuel injectors nice and clean. I've been doing that in my truck for years. I've never had any problems with seals and rings. My last truck, I had 400,000 kilometers on a 6-liter GMC gasser, and she never burned a drop of oil. I never had a problem with it. So, you know, some are going to disagree, but that's what I use.